Kim here with Little Biz Resources, and in this video I want to show you how to upload a video, the steps you need to go through, and how you can schedule it, right? Scheduling is relatively new, so it's newer. It's not new, but newer, and that's something that a lot of people don't really realize they can do. And so that's something I do recommend because, like, if you're like me, I batch 4 videos into one day, and I go a week without being able to do some stuff sometimes. Not because of vacation, just because I'm not really good at scheduling my time. So in this video, what we're just going to do is we're going to upload it. So the first thing you do is you go into your YouTube studio. If you haven't created a channel, do that first. Then go into YouTube studio, click this create button. You can see it's grayed out because I'm already doing this. And then you can select upload video. Now, if you're going live, that's a completely different video, completely different set of instructions. So we're going to do that in a separate video another time. But for this one, what we're going to do is I'm going to upload this video. So I dragged it over and it pre-populated this, and I kind of fine-tuned it here. So the title should include the keywords that you want. So in this case, I'm using keyword research, and that's pretty much the word I want. And then how to figure out what keywords relate to me. There is an ongoing, I don't want to say debate, but most marketers would tell you, hey, you need to make sure that every single one of these words are capitalized. Now, I come from an academia background, and capitalizing every single word is a no-no, right? So it's really hard for me to do that in the first place. I struggle with that. In the second place, there's actually been a shift. And if there's, I can't remember, something to do with Google, and since this is Google related, I'm going to test it. They don't like you to have every single keyword capitalized. Now, I could go in and leave the 2 uncapitalized, capitalized figure out, and then, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave the first part capitalized, and then the second part is like regular sentence, right? But I'm not going to do punctuation at the end. So, my description, normally in the description, it varies. If you read what they say here, so it'll tell you catchy title can help you hook viewers, which really you want to use copywriting strategies. This is part of a series, a 3-part video series that I'm doing. So I have no choice but to put part 1, part 2, and part 3 because they're linked together. I could just not link them together and group them as well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But there is no disadvantage to part 1, part 2, part 3, right? So you could switch it around, but I want keyword research to be my main keyword here. Now, in the description, you can choose what you want to do, right? There's people who have every single theory under the sun about what you need to put in the description. Here's the important part. When people are viewing your video, they're not looking at your description. So unless you have a call to action that says, click the link in the description, they're not going to. Now, some people will. They'll open it. They may even read it before they watch the video, whatever. But they have to click open. Basically, you get like 1 sentence. It's very few characters you get before it starts going into that. So some people say, oh, put the URL you want for your main call to action there because they won't see anything else. Some people say, put the first keywords you want in the first sentence there. Other people say, you have to write an entire blog post here. Or other people say, basically, you write everything that's in there. And if you have a longer video, it's definitely good to put in, timestamps. But from what I understand, timestamps don't always work. So timestamps are great because you can still sneak in a bunch of keywords about the topic and on a longer video or even a shorter video. Like this one, I could go through and do timestamps, which I might come back and do it another time. But for now, I came up with just a general description here. And it's literally, I'm just talking about part 1, part 2, part 3. This is pointing them to the Facebook group. That is my main call to action, I guess you could say. And then there are resources that I've mentioned within the videos. Now, I didn't keep track of which videos referenced what, so I just put them all together, right? So here are the resources that are mentioned in the video. And then a word of caution, I'm not doing this yet, but I think it's either coming out or came out where you're going to have to start identifying when you have affiliate links. So like this one, Power Suggest Pro, is an affiliate link. So are these from here on out, right? Well, sort of. They're affiliate links, but they're my opt-in pages to something. So the affiliate link really doesn't come in play till later. And so that's kind of like, who knows how that works. But this one is definitely an affiliate link. It redirects to an affiliate product, right? Because I didn't want to have the time. I didn't have the time to write up an entire post about it. So here's a free related training to this video. This is, again, affiliate products, as in they sign up. So like if somebody's interested in how to start a publishing business with niche websites and get paid when people simply click on ads. That's pretty much the topic we're talking about, right? Now, I create my own content, but this training teaches you how to work within their system and basically buy into their program, and they create the content, they get all the ads set up, and you split part of it. Like, I can't remember. You got to watch the video if you're interested in that. It's really cool though. People always ask me, so why don't you do all the work and I'll do next to nothing and we'll split the profits? And I was like, it never sounds good, right? It never sounds good from our side. This one, it sounds good from our side. I really like this. This is one of the ones that I have on my radar to buy into once my website generates enough money to do that. And that's the whole thing, is, can I do the steps, right? That's the whole thing about Thursday's webinars. Can I do the steps like a normal person? Not like a Kim who has money coming in from e-commerce stuff, but can I do this from a normal person perspective, where I start with minimal costs and build up and build out as I go. So this is the first thing that I would add on, because I can then replicate whatever they're doing. Then this one's about SEO, search engine optimization, which is related to keywords. And this one is how to build a 6-figure business in 6 steps using done-for-you campaigns. This includes Amplifier, which is one of my favorite tools for building backlinks. I'm not going to say that it's the best tool for building backlinks, because it's not, but it builds good backlinks. So if you're like, hey, I want to build like 5,000 backlinks, this isn't going to do it. But this resource is like basically you publish content out there on, places like USA Today. And so that's why I like this resource, is because the Amplifier product that's in there. And then I have additional free online trainings that people may enjoy. I'm targeting people who are doing keywords, so I don't know what kind of response I'll get. And this probably isn't ideal because it's not targeted to that, but somebody may be interested as they go. They may scroll through and be interested in it. So if I don't have it out there, people can't find it, right? And again, I may fine tune this as I go. I may not, right? If I get 10 views, it's not going to give me enough information to say, oh, hey, yeah, let me go ahead and fine tune this based on the 10 views I got. Nobody clicked. It doesn't matter. Right? So that's just not enough data. So for me, this was enough. And if I want to come back and fine tune it later, I can. Now, the next section is the thumbnail. Now, I do recommend, and I went ahead and I'm going to upload from here. I went ahead and created one, but I got to find it now because it puts it in weird. So it's keyword research part 2. So the nice thing about this is that it's really easy to use. If you don't know how to create it, go to canva.com. And Canva, you can just put, that you want to create a YouTube thumbnail, and it'll give you the dimensions you need, and you just fill it out and download it. So really, really easy. Now, playlists, this is what I was talking about before, and I said, I'll talk about it in a bit, is playlists is you could theoretically leave off part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever, and just put it in a playlist. Right? So you can do keyword research playlist, which is exactly what I did. So I have keyword research. I'm going to say done. And that makes it so that it would group it all together, right? It would group them all together, and ideally in order, which I believe once you have your playlists finalized, you can go back and rearrange them too. So this one, is it made for kids or not? This is basically if it's specifically made for under the age of 13. Okay. Read the rules because yours may or may not apply. But for me, none of my content is specifically targeting the age of 13. Is it okay if somebody under the age of 13 listens to me or watches me or whatever? Sure. I have an 8-year-old sitting next to me pretty much all the time. So I try to watch what I say, and though I sometimes forget she's there. But my content's just way more advanced than it is for a 13-year-old or under. So it's not made for kids. So I'm going to say, no, it's not made for kids. I don't have any age restrictions, so I don't need to worry about that. This one says show more for paid promotion, tags, subtitles, more. Tags are only important. So tags are something that a lot of people go, oh my gosh, you have to have tags. The thing is that YouTube has basically said tags don't really play a role. In fact, people are now skipping tags, and instead they're putting keywords as hashtags in here, right? So if you do hashtag keyword research, is still going to be all one word. Hashtag how to find keywords Hashtag. I don't know how to find more keywords. I don't know. I'm just leave it. Hashtag SEO. Hashtag search engine optimization. Hashtag content. Oops, I spelled that wrong, huh? Content. Content research. You can do that, right? So we'll just leave those there and we'll see how they turn out later on. I'm going to copy these over real quick. So I'll put them on number 3 when I do it as well. So I got my thumbnail. I put these in there. This is one of those things you need to test because it can, as far as we've been able to tell in Little Biz Resources group, is that when people are using these, it's supposed to help YouTube understand what it's about. But what happens is that it doesn't necessarily do that, right? Because if people aren't finding your content for keyword research, they're not finding your content for keyword research. So it doesn't matter if you add the hashtag in there or not. That's up to YouTube. And if the competition is just so horribly strong on that, then you're kind of wasting your time. I believe you can do up to 6 keywords, I think is what it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll find out. It might be just the first 3. But yeah, just test it, see what happens. They're constantly changing this. This is always updating. So you need to test it and see, you know, in this case, I have the first video that doesn't have it on it. This one will be scheduled. It will have it on it. And then I'll have another one scheduled and I'll leave it on that one as well. And I'll be able to say, hey, even though these are all 3 that are similar and they're all in the same thing, which ones get more views, which ones are seen more, etc. That's all stuff I can dive into data later. So I've got my thumbnail, I've got my playlist. I do recommend a playlist. All of your videos should probably be on a playlist of some sort, even if you present them out of order to begin with, because that will help people go from one video to the next video to the next video. Okay. So now this one, I don't have any paid promotion or anything. So everything I say is mine and I'm not promoting anything specifically because they're paying me. I might be promoting something of a product because I like it, but that doesn't follow under this. They may end up changing that though. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. Automatic chapters, which was already clicked. You can overwrite automatic chapters anytime by creating your own chapters in the video description. I don't know what that means. So again, the tags we talked about, so you can pick the language and I'm going to put English, United States. If you had a caption certification, you could put that, which I don't have any. Recording date and location. This is really good if it's for local. And then license and distribution. If you wanted to restrict the licensing, like a standard YouTube license is basically restricting it. Creative Commons means anybody can use it that wants to use it. You can allow embedding, which I think is fine. It's probably better if you have some sort of branding overlay, which we'll talk about another time because I'm currently not doing it because I'm too lazy. But I'm going to start using a tool that does help me brand it a little bit better. So we'll see how that works out. And we'll do videos about it, right? Category, entertainment. I might change it to education instead for this purpose. And then this one is comments and rating, hold potentially inappropriate. And I do like to leave hold potentially inappropriate, right? And then you get to choose if you want people to see how many viewers like and dislike the video. Right? I mean, you'll get to see it in the back end, but I could just take that off and say, no, I don't want to. And then that's just the way it is, right? So I don't really care. I'll leave it there for now. So I'm going to say next, and you can add subtitles if you want to. They will generate their own subtitles. YouTube does. It's not very good. I don't know how many times the word Kim, spelled K-I-M, which is my name, comes out to be something completely different. And I'm like, gosh, that's a really kind of a basic word. How do you mess that up? So I would just say be cautious of subtitles. And if it's important, then make sure you add your own. Now you can add an end screen. This is so much easier to do than it used to be, right? So you can just say add. And what I do is when I'm recording, I leave a little bit of space at the end, about 10 seconds. So I can go ahead and import from latest video. Sure, why not? Right? So this is the subscribe button essentially, and eventually I'll probably change it from my face to something else, especially since I'm pretty sure that's like 10 years old, even though I look basically the same. And then the video, I have the most recent upload. I'm going to change that eventually, right? So that the first one points to the second one, and the second one points to the third one, and the third one points to something I want it to go to. But for now, because I'm just getting this all loaded and everything, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to come in here and find it. So now this one wants me to go for the last 20 seconds. So you might want to put it to 20 seconds. I can tell that my audio ends here. So whatever I'm doing, I'm done talking there, right? So that means from here on, yeah, I guess I forgot to change this earlier too. I'm going to go to this, to there. I'm going to put you, so you can have it subscribe earlier, right? You can have it come up a little bit earlier and then have the video come up after that. So it kind of helps. So this is all stuff that used to be so hard to do. And you can even, I think now there's even ones where you can like upload different versions. You can add, if you want to have like 2 videos here, you can do 2 videos by adding elements and stuff. So you'll have to play with that. We might do videos later on with that, but this is all stuff that's so much easier to do than it used to be. So you should be doing it. It's just the way it should be. You should be doing it. And like, I need to go back through my older videos and do that, right? Because why not? I want people to subscribe. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. All right. So now we can say save on this. This would be just for that element. And you can add cards, but adding the cards is not going to do very well. Like you can add in a different video if you're referencing it, right? You can add a different playlist. You can add in a different channel if you want to, but you cannot add a link until you join the YouTube Partner Program. And in order to join the YouTube Partner Program, you need to have like 1,000 subscribers and like 4,000 hours viewed or something like that. And then you can join the YouTube Partner Program. And I believe you have to maintain it. So at this point, there's no benefit to me on doing this. I have no strategy for this right now at this point. Maybe at another time I do click in, especially towards the end, right? I might be like, okay, this is the video I want them to go to. And then, or maybe I want them to go into a playlist. Who knows? So add info card linking to a playlist. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll go ahead and do keyword research, right? So if they're in part 2 and they were like, oh man, I forgot to go into part 1, they can go here and they can go into the keyword research. Okay, so see the entire playlist here. I'm not going to worry about that. And you put this pretty much wherever you want. They have it at the beginning, so that might be a good spot to put it. I think they're going to have it throughout the whole thing, right? So if it's going to be in my way, I need to take it out. And they can X out of it, obviously. So I think I'm just going to leave it there in case they want to see the entire playlist. They can go here and say, see the entire playlist here. And there you go. So I'm going to say save on that one for that card, just because the other one didn't have that either. And then I'm going to click next. And now they're checking for copyright issues. I'm going to tell you guys, one of the most frustrating copyright issues I ever had was before they did this, and you would load it and then they just ding you, right? And I was doing a how-to video and I was showing people like how to get around in Facebook. And there just happened to be in my feed a video that was playing from some big brand food place. And it took maybe, I don't know, 5-6 seconds of the video, maybe a little bit more, maybe max 12 seconds, right? And when they pulled my video and flagged me for copyright infringement, they said, you stole this video. And I'm going, what are you talking about? And I went back and I looked at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so idiotic. I wasn't talking about the video. It just happened to be there. And I'm like, you know what? These places that want to claim this, then they shouldn't play it. They should be like, look, you can't put it on Facebook then. Sorry. Or they should give us some sort of way to say, look, this is an educational video. Anything in here is coincidentally copyright. You know, if there's any copyright, whatever. This is an easier, much nicer way for them to say, hey, this is a copyright issue found. And then if there's something is found, you can then, mark why it is or whatever. But even though it says no issues found, it says these results aren't final. So they could come back to me tomorrow and say, oh, look, you did a search and it's copyrighted. Whatever. You deal with it as it comes. Just make sure you appeal, because if you have too many strikes against you, your channel will get banned, and then eventually that'll extend to your IP and your name and everything else. So you just, as long as you don't copyright, then appeal. Or even if you do appeal and say, hey, I didn't mean to do this, and then don't do it again. And, hopefully they'll take off any strikes there. So I'm going to say next. Now here we go. We can make it save or publish. And it says you need to make it public, unlisted, or private. So private is you and people you choose can watch your video. So you have to send them the link, right? And you have to authorize them. At least that's the way it used to work. I haven't done private in a long time. Unlisted is basically anybody who finds the link. So if you were to post it in like a Facebook group or something, and people could click on the link and they could still view it, and they could share it with their friends, and they could view it as long as that link, anybody with that link. The private is you have to invite the people, right? So these are different settings, and for business purposes, I don't see why you need them unless you are like a lot of people use unlisted for their like private Facebook groups or something, or private membership areas. Public is everyone, right? And this is what we're doing. If we're trying to get traffic from YouTube, then you want to be public. Now, set as an instant premiere, you can scroll over when you see this. And it's a little bit different. So I haven't ever done instant premiere, and I don't know that I will anytime soon, but it's kind of like hey, it's almost like a pseudo live thing, but you can like watch it all together and everything. I'm going to put schedule on this one though, right? So it's going to be public, and I wonder, it should still be public when I say schedule. So let's see, today's the 2nd, so I'm going to go for the 3rd. I'm not going to go for 12 a.m. Let's make it 9 a.m. What time zone is this? So it's the local one, so here Mountain Time. So maybe I'll make it 9 a.m. Yeah, 9 a.m. is probably pretty good. And then it says, do kids appear in the video? If you make sure that it follows their rules, looking for overall content guidance, blah, blah, blah. So you can go through those if you want to. Now I'm going to schedule it, right? So it's scheduled. I've got my custom thumbnail. I've got my description in there. You can even see what it doesn't even show very much, right? You get the video link if you want to copy that. And in fact, I'm going to copy that because I need to test something. And then you just schedule it. Hit schedule. So it's, oh my gosh, they didn't have a scheduling feature 6 months ago, at least not that I had. So it was very neat to be able to go in and say, oh, wow. And now of course, you can copy this and then you can close out of it and go to the next one. So it's a really neat feature. I think that people who are trying to look at generating content on a regular basis, but you can batch your work. Before you could schedule stuff, but it was very complicated. And I know how to schedule stuff because I use tools, but to be able to do it right inside YouTube I was not able to do that before. And I don't know if it's because of the way my channel was set up. I just didn't get access to it. I don't know, right? Who knows what the reasons were. And I mean, somebody at YouTube probably does, but all right. So that's it for, loading up the video, putting all those elements in there, and of course, scheduling it. And so I encourage you to do so and build your channel. And if you are in the Little Biz Resources group, please feel free to share your channel with everybody as long as it's appropriate. And by appropriate, I mean no drugs, legal or illegal, no inappropriate adult content. It needs to be something, I don't want to say for 13 and under because that's not right, but it needs to be something that's, PG. It can't be something that is, my daughter needs to be able to watch it even if she can't understand it. No foreign languages, just keep it English, things like that. Just simple stuff, because I can't approve everything that is, if it's sketchy, right? I want to approve everything, but it needs to not be sketchy. No promoting yourself shamelessly. So educational videos are fine, stuff like that. But if you put in a channel and all it is promoting affiliate products, don't bother, right? It needs to have some sort of substance to it. Our group is about growing and building it. And I don't mind sharing stuff. So if you're like, hey, mine is only about affiliate stuff, but will you take a look at it? Fine. Message me. Don't just post it in there because I'll just delete it. So message me first if you think if it's questionable. But if you're like in a craft niche or something, or you're in like sports or something that's like how-to things, those are always really good videos for people and something that people can hop onto regardless of what niche they're in for business. So that is it for this video. I'm going to leave my little empty space at the end so I can add in my little end things, right? Like I said. And if you have questions on this, please feel free to post them and I will get back to you as soon as I can, and hop into the Facebook group with any questions. The link is in the description. I promise it is. All right. Well, thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and like the video and leave comments galore, right? And thank you again.